Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I've been busy all morning, and so I'm just now sitting down ready to paint with you. So I'm pretty excited. So something new right behind me is this shelf. So I've had that shelf for a lot of years. It's been in a lot of different places in my home, in my living room, um, with different seasonal decorations on, and I had it in this craft room for a while, but it was actually higher on the shelf or higher on the wall. And so I asked my husband yesterday if he could bring it down. So it's pretty low. It's lower than you would normally have a shelf in your home, I think. But it just sits right behind me, and I thought I would just throw some different decorations that I have up there. If you can see, I just put my beach bag tote. I just put that up there. This is what we painted yesterday, or one of the items. This is the larger size of the beach tote bag. So anyway, just had to share my shelf with you right there. So it's hard to see anything right behind my head. So I have a few items behind me. I've got the chunky watermelon over here, and then I have the chunky beehives and the bees that I have available as SVG files. But anyway, I am Robin from Center Street Decor SVGs, and I design SVG files for your lasers and for your electronic cutting machines. I love to design, and I love to create these chunky shelf sitters. And it's kind of a fun thing. I do a lot of different designs or SVG files, tiered tray files, but these are my chunkies. And a chunky, I call them chunkies. A chunky is I make it 3 layers thick. So I cannot cut this thick with my Glowforge, with my laser cutter. But if I glue 3 layers together, it makes a chunky shelf sitter. This is 1/4 inch plywood. And so if I glue 3 together, then it actually sits on a shelf. So also when you get the file, you don't have to make it a chunky shelf sitter. You don't have to use all 3 layers. You can just use 1 layer and add it to your home decor. But with the 3 layers, it actually sits on the shelf. So I just call them my chunky shelf sitters. I like it. So yesterday we worked on our chunky beach tote bag. And so this is the one that we made yesterday. And I know a lot of you just really love this. It's so cute. A lot of people have snagged this up. And again, this one will stand on itself or stand on a shelf. But this one is really fun because it has like a pocket, has like a hole inside. And so you can add your little beach accessories in here. So that's what we've done with this. And it has a little tag on it as well. And there's 3 different tags. Excuse me. One says beach bag. One says, this one in the back says beach goddess. And this one right here says beach bum. So this is the very smallest. So we have the medium, and then the small size, and then the large size right behind me. So that's what we painted yesterday. And then on the video, I showed you how to make these cute little towels that go in our little beach bag and just look like they are really ready to go to the beach. Got their beach towels and their beach hat and their sunglasses. So they're really cute decorations. If you don't decorate with a tiered tray, they're great to put anywhere you want on a shelf. So today we are going to continue our beach series that I have. So with my beach series, there's 5 different files. There's 2 tiered trays. There is the chunky beach bag, the beach tote bag. And then we have our flip-flops, which we're going to work on today. And in just a minute, I'm going to I'm going to bring you down and show you the cute flip-flops. We have two tiered tray sets, like I mentioned, and then we also have a set that is called tags, garland tags. And what those are, the garland tags are, you hang them on a beaded garland, and we're going to be doing those hopefully Friday or Saturday, depending on when I can get to painting those. And I'm really excited to show them to you. They're really fun. So I'm going to tip you down and show you our darling flip-flops. Okay, so here are our flip-flops. So they are adorable. So when I design my sets, you can see I have 4 different sizes of flip-flops. I've already done the sizing for you. I've made all the pieces so that when you get the file, you can just cut the large, the medium, the small, or the tiny flip-flops. All the work is done for you. So that's how I like to create my design. You don't have to resize anything. So we've got our large flip-flops, and these are also a chunky shelf sitter. So you can use them as a chunky shelf sitter or not. So they have the 3 layers, and each one has the 3 layers. Or if you want to just use the 1 layer, you can do that too and not use the others as well. So just depending on you, once it's your file, you can cut however many pieces that you want or need to use. So also with the flip-flops in this set, I actually designed something new and fun. So this will actually come with a sign. So we have flip-flops and also a sign. So this is the sign, life is better in flip-flops. And then it has a frame. So how this frame works, it's considered what I consider a chunky frame. So it has all the pieces. So you have the 2 bottom pieces and then your 2 side pieces. And you can just do your frame just like that. Glue that on and then be done with it. But what I like to do is I make it into a chunky. Hey, Tracy. I'm trying to look at my phone, trying to see my comments. So with this chunky frame, I will continue to layer the walls of my frame. And so once I get the 2 frame pieces on here, then this frame will actually stand on its own. So just like with our chunkies, it's 3 layers thick. Once I have the 3 layers, I have the back and then the 2 frames, it will stand on its own. So it's up to you if you want to create it with all of the layers to stand on its own, or if you want to do it without the frame, or add just 1 frame. So we're going to be painting this today, and then we're going to be painting one of our flip-flops. So we're going to work on that. So here is our cute sign. We've got all the sizing that's done for you. So here's with the flip-flops. They come with, and you can see when you put it on, I have the score lines so you can see. And all of this is just scored, and it's really quick. So it doesn't take long at all. Hi, Jennifer. How are you today? So you can see which side you need to put them on, because one obviously fits better on one side than the other. And then also it comes with accessories. So with your I'm thinking sea foam. That's not even the word. Seashells. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. That was weird. So with your seashell flip-flops, they all come with 3 different sizes. And again, all of the sizing is down here. It's all done for you. Your large, your medium, and your small, and then your minis, they all have the different accessories. So depending on which one you want to put in, you can do them, the round ones, or we have this fun shape, and each flip-flop has 2 of each of that side, and then we have the starfish. So they're so cute. So we need to get to painting, right? So I am going to set this aside. I'm actually going to grab the frame. I'm going to check all my pieces off to the side here. And here's my frames. We'll put them up there. And then we're going to work on this large flip-flop. So we have to decide which seashell. Which seashell? Have you ever heard that? What's that tongue twister? Susie sells seashells by the seashore. That's how I feel like what I'm saying when I'm saying seashells and beach, and oh my goodness, is very tongue-tying. So, okay. So we have to decide which one should we put on. So while you guys think about and you tell me which one. Should we use the cute little starfish, or should we use the, what are these called? I forget. These are the round ones. Tongue twisters, huh? Huh, Jennifer? I know. These, what are these round ones called? I forgot. Can you guys remember? I knew the other day when I was, looking at them. And then we have this shell and then the star. So we have to decide which accessory we want to put on our little flip-flops. You like the round, Jennifer? So maybe we'll do the cute. Oh, the dollar. Oh, sand dollar. Tracy, that's right. Sand dollar. Dang it. I don't know why I couldn't remember sand dollar, but I remembered the other day when I was designing these. It was so fun. I had such a fun time creating. And I knew what they were called then, but then it slipped my mind today. It's because I'm live. When you go live, the brain just stops working, huh? The brain stops working. So let's just give this just kind of a cream base coat, and maybe with a little bit of blue in the sky. So we'll do a kind of a two-toned ombre look. We're going to give that a try. So we're going to just start with this Pursuit of Teal. Here goes the tongue twister again. We're going to put some on the bottom. And I'm just doing this just so it can have a little bit of time to dry while we work on some others. Okay. And then I'm going to pull in my, I'm going to just use my cream color. Just, it's antique parchment, or any ivory, that kind of works too. Okay, I'm going to grab my makeup sponges. That's what I like to use. I want to do the blue at the top, right? So we're doing the white. Maybe we should do just, should we do a little brown? I'm not sure if that would, we'll just do the white. I was thinking if we should do like a beach sand color. We're just going to base coat this. Just give it a little base coat. I'm just going to tap it really good. And then I'm not worried about the score lines being painted over because everything's going to be covered except for the flip-flops. I'll be a little bit more careful so those flip-flops show through. I'll tap a little bit more gentle. And I'm okay not getting perfect coverage on this, so it looks a little more weathered. So it doesn't have to be completely solid for me. I'm okay with that. And I'm going to probably go up pretty high with the cream color before I bring in the blue. Usually when I paint my samples, I have a painted one to show you, but I didn't get a chance. I had a meeting this morning to go to, and so I was busy with that this morning, so I didn't get a chance to do my little samples for you. So we're going with it. we're just going to be painting and have a good time. Okay, I'm about ready to bring in my blue. Just to kind of look like a little bit of a sky. So I'm pretty happy, and I don't know if you can see, but it's not complete coverage on there, but I'm pretty happy with that. I like that it just looks like it's been out in the weather, like this, like you're at the beach and the sun's been hitting the walls and the paint gets kind of worn off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of white on one side and then pick a little bit of blue up on the other side. And now I just want to blend these a little bit. I'm just kind of tapping back and forth. So I'll start up a little bit higher than my actual line where I kind of stopped. I'll start up a little bit higher because I want to get some good blue coverage up here. Like maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll do a little bit more blue because I need a large area to be blue. There we go. Now I'll come back to this one here. And then I'll pick up some of that blue. And then I'm just going to walk them back and forth just to blend them. And then I'm just kind of going where that line is, about where that line is. And I tap my sponge kind of back and forth just a little bit, just very subtly. Subtly, is that a word? Subtly? Subtle. Okay. Up a little bit more white. Actually, a lot more white. Just to blend that a little bit more. Does it kind of look like sky? Does it look like it's blending to you guys? I think it's looking pretty good. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I think it looks great. I'm going to fill in just the top just a little bit more, just with the blue. Trying to be careful not to come down where I have mixed the colors, the ombre. Okay, let's set that aside. So that is going to be the backdrop of our sign. And then these stick pieces are our frame. And let's go ahead and paint our frame. So a lot of times I will cut things out of wood and sometimes I cut them out of MDF. But this time I'm going to go ahead and I cut these out of wood because I like to make it, I'm going to paint it so it kind of looks like a faux stain. And I'm going to use my burnt umber for this. I think I'm going to use a lot of different pieces of tinfoil today for my paint colors. Okay, so I have my baby wipe, and that's what I like to use just to give this a little bit of a faux painted look. So I pick up a little bit and then just tap a little bit off, and then I'm just going to just rub along there. And it looks kind of dark right now, but it's going to absorb. So because I'm going to use all of these frames, I only need to do 4 of them. So I need to do 2 long and then 2 short. The others I do not need to paint because they're going to be, one is going to be on top of the other. So it's just a quick and easy to paint. If you've never painted with baby wipes, oh my goodness, it's pretty fast. Pretty fast. Okay, and then you can see it looks dark, but it will absorb in that wood, and then you won't see it quite as much. Okay, so with my flip-flops, while I'm doing this stain method, what I like to do is I like to paint the back just to give it a finished look, and I do that with the baby wipe. So make sure you do it on the back. Oh, and then I'm going to show you a fun thing about the flip-flops. So hang on just a second, and then I'm just going to tell you one thing about when I designed the flip-flops. So I'm not trying to get perfect full coverage because this is wood, and so there's lots of different I was going to say levels, but lots of different grooves. So I'm not trying to get in every little groove. I'm okay with it not being that way. Okay, so this is going to absorb in that wood. Now let me just tell you one thing about this is I have the 3 pieces that I'm going to be using to make it a shelf sitter. It's going to be able to stand all by itself. However, you can see I've got this cute little seashell pattern that's really, really cute. Let's see, do I have a favorite baby wipe? I actually use the baby wipes that I use, they're more of a water base. There's more water than anything. So, and there's not, yeah. So a water baby wipe, I actually just ordered some on Amazon is where I got mine, but I look for, yeah. And I don't find that they leave a residue, maybe because they're a whole lot more water than anything. So I have the seashell pattern on here, but what I did, if you do not want to use the seashell pattern and you want to create your own pattern, so I just have this one and I just made a score line on here just to show like there are 2 sandals. Oh, one thing I think I could even add to this pattern, and I think I will. So I will change it up a little bit, is I will add score marks where the little flip-flop, where you put your feet into the flip-flop. So I think I will switch that up. I'll change that pattern just a little bit. And if anybody has ordered that pattern already, I'll make sure to let you know that I have changed it, and then I can send you the new file. But okay, so that's gonna just go ahead and dry. And that's the back side. I don't have to do anything else with that. And then the center one, I don't do anything with because it's just gonna be sandwiched in between the 2. Okay, so here are flip-flops. And so we need to decide what colors we want to do. You can see with the cute little beach tote, what I did is I did this ombre look. I'm thinking, do I want to do an ombre look on here, or do I want to go more solid? And I think what I will do, I think I'm going to do a more of just this blue, this teal blue. I was actually thinking of doing these 2 and then a little bit of white. What do you think? I'm trying to think if I should do kind of an ombre or if I should just do blue with ombre. What do you think, Jennifer? What would look cool? Going dark to very light, 2 colors or 3 colors? Okay, here are pieces that's going to go on our frame. And they don't take long to dry at all. If they feel cold to me, if I'm like, is my paint dry? If I touch it and it feels cold, not freezing cold, but if it feels cool to my hands, it probably needs a little more drying time. So let's do let's do an ombre look. We're going to do, I'm going to need another piece of tinfoil because when I do that ombre look, boy, um, I get kind of crazy with the paint. It kind of goes everywhere. So match the sign. Is that what you were thinking, Jennifer? I have to move my camera because I'm like, I can't really read that. So if I had, oh, see, I have my reading glasses on. Now I can read. So let's start with a little bit of the dark. So it will still match that, but I think we'll just do a little bit of the dark. Just down at the bottom, we'll do just a little bit of this dark. So I'm just going to kind of fill in this space right here before I get my ombre going. Just get good coverage. So, okay. So now I'm going to pick up a little bit of the dark and then a little bit of the light blue. So I've got the two colors on that. To go with the your other three color theme. Oh, thanks. I do well with my blending. Oh, and it's not really hard. It's not hard to do that blending. The sponge does all the work. Okay, so now I'm going to come down and then just kind of I go back and forth. And so going back and forth really does all that blending. The blending gets on there. It looks good. Can you see how it's getting blended? Yeah, so you can just see how it's getting darker from light to dark. Pretty, huh? So I need a little bit more of this lighter down here. I can see that it's dried just a little bit. So I just need to fill in that bottom just with the dark. Okay, now that I have that. So now what I want to do is I feel like my blending is pretty good. And now I want to just keep going up with just this light blue. So I am just going to pick up the light blue and I'm just going to use that, just use the same sponge. Just use the same sponge. I'm not worried about, I don't need any of the dark right now. And I'm trying to tap just pretty gently because I don't want to squish the paint into those beautiful scored seashells. So I just want to be pretty gentle with it. And then when you feel like you need a little bit more paint, we're going to pick up a little bit more. And I'm wanting this middle part to be quite a bit thicker, obviously. So the middle is going to be really thick. So now we need to decide, we need to think about, we need to paint these pieces where the feet go in. So what color should we do those? Should we do them the dark blue? Because I think the sand dollars we'll probably do those white. Do you think that would look best? But what color should we do these pieces? Maybe the dark blue, or should we do those white as well? Something to think about, huh? think these are such pretty colors for summer. So I'm almost ready to do the white. Or maybe I should just go up higher because we're going to have those sand dollars white. So the straps, so the dark, and then maybe the shell, the cream color. So do you think we should do the top of the shoes? Should we do those cream too, just a little bit on the top, or should we keep going with the blue? I'm trying to decide because these are going to be the cream color. And then if we have the tips white, or should we keep going with blue? I'm helping you. I'm hoping you'll help me make some color choices here. This is just 1/4 inch plywood, and I really love to paint on it. It's just it's called a sanded plywood that I buy. Maybe keep going. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I love how you can just see all those scored lines through there that you can paint over the top of them, and they still just look fantastic. Oh, I just love it. Are you crafting today, Jennifer? Okay, I think I am going to pick up a little bit more of this darker blue. We're going to go over this one more time. Maybe bring it up a little bit more. Since I didn't add the cream color, maybe I just want to bring this up just a little bit more. Oh, grocery shopping, yeah. I had a meeting this morning that I went to, so I didn't get any crafting done this morning or anything. I just had a meeting to go to for church. Oh, it's fun. It's really fun, huh? Okay, let's go ahead and paint these that dark blue. I'm actually going to use a smaller sponge for this. I get a little crazy when I do a big sponge on a thin area. Then I squish over the edges too much, so that's why I just want to use a small one. Just light taps. I put my little dogs outside before I came in, and I can hear them. They're like, hey, hey, somebody left us out here. And I'm like, it's a nice day. Enjoy it. Oh, I heard that your son has his wisdom teeth out. Oh, yeah, you have to take care of him. I remember when you posted that your son had his wisdom teeth out. I'm like, oh, I remember when I was in high school, I had my wisdom teeth out too. And so it just kind of took me back. And I was thinking, oh, yeah, when your kids are in high school, I don't know if I was a junior, sophomore, junior, or senior. Anyway, I remember that's when I had my wisdom teeth out. So yeah, it brought back memories. Brought back some memories. I've got some painter's tape here, so I think we're going to have to put these sand dollars on here. So I'm trying to think of what color we want to do these, if we want to do them in the dark. So here's our frame piece. So it says life is better in flip-flops. And if anybody needs this sign, my daughter needs this sign. She wears flip-flops all year round. And we live in a climate where it's cold and it snows. And yeah, she'll still wear her flip-flops. So yeah, got to think of the colors that we might want to do for our sign here. Maybe I'd almost think that looks pretty good, just keeping it in that natural. Do you? I like it in that natural. I think I like it in that natural color. We might just keep it just like that. Maybe do the word flip-flops as an ombre. Yeah, I like the natural. Do you think we should do the word flip-flops in like an ombre color, or just do them? We could do them natural too. It probably would all look good, I think, because we've got the little cute flip-flops up here. Well, you can't see, it's out of the frame. We have the cute flip-flops down here. And so if we just did everything in the natural color, I think I like it in the natural. And then it makes it that much quicker, huh? That much quicker to paint. Okay, I've got my sponges here. This is what I used on the tote bags. I just used a little of the ombre, and then I will just keep using these sponges over and over. Except I want to use a small piece, so I'm going to actually cut these into quarters. And this piece can be thrown away that I used yesterday. And now I have 4 more pieces to use. That is saving it, huh? It's like saving dollars right there. Okay, we're going to paint our cute little sand dollars. Just kind of keep tapping back and forth. So here are our flip-flop. That's kind of what that's going to look like, but that's goes on that side. Need a little bit, another coat on here. I stick it to that tape, I won't have to worry about holding it or even rotating it. Okay, looking pretty good. Let's do our little sand dollars. Give it another coat. And I think 2 coats will do just fine. Okay, we need to do a little bit of shading on these, but we need them to dry first. Because we learned that yesterday when I had my mess when I painted my sunglasses, and the inside black wasn't quite dry, and I tried to shade, and everything got to be a hot mess. Oh, like the flip-flops, if the flip-flops were like enlarged to fit on a door, is that what you're talking about? Or just the sand dollars? Yeah, because they can be enlarged any size. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, well, while that is drying, I thought I'm not going to paint these letters because I think that natural looks really, really good. And because I have kind of got that, it's not burnt, but the edges where it's got that, what do they call that? The over, I forget what they call it, but there's a word for it. Okay, we're gonna put our frame together. So let me show you how I do that for our chunky frame. So I'm gonna take all of my pieces, and then I like to glue the frame pieces together. Yeah, that would be super cute door hanger, huh? That'd be cute. So I want one piece that has been painted and the other that has not. So we are going to glue that together. Do I have my glue? Oh, I do have my glue. I'm getting down to the end of this glue, so I have to hold it for a second. Okay, let's get my pieces together that I'm going to put glue on while we're waiting for the glue to come down where it needs to be. Here it comes. I can hear it. I'm just going to go ahead and just put the glue on. And then I'm going to add my pieces together. So this is where I need to hold it and just try to match it up. Just feel with my fingers. And match it up really good. That one feels great. Same thing here. So I just stack in the frame pieces together. And I can see a little gap between here. That just tells me that my wood's a little bit warped. And so the glue, until it's pushed together, it won't be glued. So I can see I need to hold this one together for just a few seconds. Just line everything up. Okay. So I can see I was user error when I was cutting this because I had a lot of, my edges didn't cut out very good. Gotta hold that one for a few seconds. My edges didn't cut out very good, and so I had to do a little bit of sanding on my wood to get some of those rough edges done. So I'm going to take a marker. I just have a Sharpie, and we're just going to cover up those edges that just don't look very good. Just so they don't look stark white. Yeah, you can tell that one. That one I sanded, so there was some rough fibers of the wood. So just a Sharpie, just a regular black Sharpie is what I'm using. I've tried a lot of different markers for covering up these edges. They look white. And I always come back to Sharpies because sometimes the other markers run out. You could use just a paint marker too. A paint marker would be fine as well. Let's see if anything, oh yeah, got to get this edge. Just cleaning up these edges, just so when I put the frame together, it will look great. Oh, got to get that edge too. Well, some of them aren't going to be showing. The long edges will, but the short edges won't. I don't usually need to do this much cleanup, but because I sanded those edges is why I need to do this. Because it didn't cut very cleanly. User error on my machine. Or just work wood. Sometimes that happens. Oh, it's hot there. 90. Oh my gosh. That's hot. That is hot out. Yeah, I'd be melting. I'm melting. I'm melting. I for sure would be melting. That's hot. I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to the hot weather. Okay, should we go ahead and glue our pieces on? And I love that we're going to be using just the natural. It's going to look great. So I'm trying to flip everything upside down before I put it on our little frame here. Just tipping everything upside down. And this frame is going to be done in no time, huh? I still want to do a little bit of shading on the flip-flops, a little bit of shading and highlighting. I'm like, oh, that's the front. Okay, I just wiped the glue off and flipped it over. So I did a live, I think it was last week, and then Facebook told me part of your video has been muted because of violin music. Like, I don't know, professional violin music was so we muted part of your video. And I thought that was just really funny because I'm like, that day it was like really windy here. And I have quite a great big window in my craft room. So I'm like, I wonder if they thought the wind was violin music. But I thought it was kind of funny. So I'm just going to turn these upside down, just really quickly, just tap it on my paper towel just to get rid of some of the big blobs, if I have any big blobs. So one thing about my files that I do is when I create these scored lines, they are just a little bit smaller. The scored lines are smaller than your actual letters. So that way you don't really have to be worried about any of those lines sticking out. So that's kind of one of the ways I design my files too. So I put all this glue on here, and this glue, it is super sticky, and I always get it on my fingers, and then I wear it for the next day or day and a half. The glue just becomes a part of me. It's just kind of my thing. Yeah, it's a lot of tiny pieces, but it goes pretty fast. That's why I put all the glue on them first, and the glue is not gonna, it's not gonna dry. It doesn't dry. I mean, maybe eventually it would dry. I mean, I've never left it here for 2 or 3 days just like that. But until it adheres to something, it just doesn't dry just sitting there. So, but once it adheres to the piece of wood, then it will dry in like about 15 seconds. It's crazy. So it's lots of little pieces, but because I have all these little score lines, it tells me where I need to place everything. I can see I got some glue on the top of this, so I'm just going to wipe it off really quick. And I don't need a lot of glue. This one has even less glue. Sometimes I just get just a little bit of the edges. But if I was to turn it over and put it on my paper towel, it would glue super fast. So I don't leave it on my paper towel long. Because then I would have paper towels stuck to my letters. And I have done that before. Oh, I'm missing letters, aren't I? What am I missing? I'm missing the F. Oh, here it is, over here. That's always probably the saddest part, is when you work on a sign and you lose a letter, because then you need to take the time to cut out just one letter. Oh, it is frustrating, but it happens. One letter. And when I do my files, if the letters are already pretty small, I connect the dot. There's a little bit of glue right here, so I'm just going to kind of get it out of that little groove area. Okay, so if the letters are pretty small, I connect the dot to the I to the word, so, or to the letter, so that you're not losing a little teeny I, because that can be super frustrating if you lose a little teeny dot and then have to cut one little dot. That's crazy. Okay, so here's our frame pieces. This is going to go together, excuse me, really quick. So what I like to do, oh, let me show you one more trick really quick. Let's see if this paint marker is going to work. I have a couple of these paint markers. I'm actually going to just do a little bit of line on the edge here. This paint marker may not even work. I may have to grab my Sharpie. See what I mean? I buy some of these paint markers and then they don't want to work. And maybe that's why I revert to my Sharpie all the time. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is when I glue my frame together, if you have ever glued a frame together, there's a little bit, you can see a little bit of white. So that's just going to avoid seeing a little bit of that white, or in this case, white and blue, cream and blue. Okay, and we are going to clean up the edges too once we get it glued together. So the bottom is going to get glued. I always start with the bottom. I am going to clean up these edges before I glue this together. We're going to do it. We're going to clean it up. I'm just running, because sometimes when I do use the sponge, even though I tap lightly, a little bit of glue, or sorry, a little bit of paint gets down over the edge. So I just clean it up a little bit. Just makes it look that much nicer. Okay, let's glue our frame on. Now I like to do the little strips. Some people will do their frame as a big solid piece. You can do that. A lot of people design theirs like that, but I did mine in strips. It takes less room when you're cutting it out on your laser machine. So that's just kind of how I do it. So I always glue the top and the bottom first. I'll glue the bottom. And again, you're just going to line it up, put your fingers down on the sides, and it will glue really fast. You have a look, I've had glue on me. Now I have glue. Now I have paper towel on me. Oh my goodness. Yep, just fill it with your fingers and it will dry really fast, that glue. So you have just a few seconds of wiggle room. Oh, I don't do the top and the bottom first. Okay. We've got a lot going on here. I do the bottom and then the sides and then the top. And try not to get paper towel all over you. I had this upside down on the paper towel. Thank goodness it didn't get completely covered with paper towel. Okay, so I'll just turn it and do one side. Match up the sides. Let me just hold it for a few seconds. Okay, now we'll put the top on. And I just like how this frame looks. So it has it just looks like it's been done. It looks like it's been made in a wood shop. And I have a little bit of gaps here and there, and I'm okay with that. Okay. Give some firm pressure, hold it all together. Okay, so there is our frame. So in the back, I'm going to cover with a little bit of my brown paint like I did the others. Now, I know you're wondering, why does she have a pattern on the back? That's weird. It is weird. And it wasn't intentional. What happened here is when I did one of my cuttings, I was doing my test cutting, I didn't dial up my size or my speed high enough and in the cut, but not all the way through. So I just flipped the board over and I used it again. This is the pattern that was on our darling little beach tote. But I'm not worried about it because it's going to be in the back and it's not going to be seen. But look how cute that turned out. Oh, you've got your cute little flip-flops in the back. It looks like a sandy beach. Look like they're on the beach, huh? I like it. So let's go ahead and do the back. I still have a little bit of this brown paint over here and my baby wipe. I don't have much brown paint, so I'm going to see if I can just keep spreading it all over just to give good coverage. Oh my goodness, after I see this pattern, I'm like, oh, that little beach tote would be really cute and brown if you did a solid color, because I did the I had the ombre look, but it would be really cute in a solid color, that's for sure. Okay, so I just gave it a finished look, even though we're not going to see the back, but just have to do that. That's just what I do. So because I made this the 2 layers thick with the frame, and then the back side, it gives it 3 layers, 2, 3, I can count. So it gives it the 3 layers. So it's going to stand all by itself. Let me bring it down so you can see it. So it stands by itself just on a shelf. So if you don't want to use an easel or something, this is kind of another fun way to go, is to make a chunky frame to stand all by itself. Oh, I just think it turned out so cute. I love it. Okay, these are dry. And because this is wood, I used wood, I need to give it just a little sand. It feels super, not super rough, but a little bit rough. So this is a very fine sander. It's only, it's like a 220, so it's really fine. And then what I do, I wear an apron when I paint, and then I rub it on the front of my apron just to get rid of some of those little fibers. And I can see this dark blue needs just a little bit of touch up. Like, do I want to worry about it or do not want to worry about it? Maybe we'll just give it just a little bit. I've got my little teeny sponge here. And so we're just going to go in just a little bit, and it will probably dry pretty quick because I'm just doing just a little bit of a light coat. Just had like some whole areas because of all the different layers of wood, the levels of wood. It needed some extra. So what I thought I'd do is I love to do shading on my projects. I'm just so happy how that turned out. It's so cute. So fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to give a shading. Should I do highlighting on all of it? I know I want to do highlighting on these just to brighten them up a little bit. So I'm going to use the same. Oh, got my paint. My little paint palettes all stuck together. I'm going to do a little bit of my ivory for my highlighting. And then I'll use my nutmeg brown is my favorite. I could do burnt umber, but I think I'll just go ahead and just do the nutmeg brown for my shading. So I want to shade these cute little sand dollars. So let me get one of my, oh, we're finally pulling out the paintbrushes. And I've got my little water bowl over here, so I always just get my brush a little bit wet and then tap it on my paper towel just to get some of that moisture out. And then let's see if you can see this. Oh, you can. So I'm going to tip just the tip of that in here and then just rub across just to kind of, I'm creating like an ombre look, I guess is kind of the what I describe it. And now I'm just going to go around in a circle. And so what I'm doing is I'm just creating that look just on that outside edges, just to give it just that little bit of shading. And I can feel I still have a lot of water in my paintbrush, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick up a little bit more paint and go again on this second one. Okay, we'll set those aside. So now I want to do some highlighting on the edges, the outside edges of my straps. There's still a lot of water in my brush. Okay, so I'm just going to come in and then just start pulling the color all the way around the edge. Okay, we'll let that one dry. And we'll do this other one. And you'll find when you are painting, different paintbrushes hold different amounts of water. It sounds crazy, but I have some that hardly hold any water, and I have some that hold a lot. And I actually prefer ones that hold more water than not. I hope you can't hear my little doggies barking, because if you do, maybe Facebook will think that that's music. Kind of crazy, kind of funny. Okay, so now I'm going to come down around this side. We're just going to pull it down, just creating like the sun is hitting that, giving it a little sunshine. Oh, didn't like how that one was going, so I just kind of wiped it off with my finger. Lots of water. When you're shading, water is definitely your friend. I do like to have a lot of water in my paintbrush, but not too much. Too much water just makes everything just totally wet. Okay, so we added a little bit of shading on that, so you can see kind of what that will look like with a little bit of highlighting on there. And now let's go ahead and do a little bit of shadow. We're just going to go around with the darker brown. And I'll also do that shading right there um, where that score line is, just so it shows where the shoes are overlapping. I'm going to go there too. So it kind of creates like a little bit of a shadow there. Oh, the white added on the straps. Yeah, it just kind of gives it a little bit of dimension. I like to do the shading. Oh, I just grabbed the white. I'm doing brown. Got the white and the brown here. There we go. I kept not having quite enough water. But it's better to have more water so it will drag a little bit better. Okay, let me come up that center. Sometimes if I run out of water, I'll just go ahead and grab a little bit of water and not pick up paint right away. Okay. Now I am going to add just a little bit of white to the tops. Just brush it around. I'm actually just going over some of that brown. Some of that darker. Just going to go over just a little bit. Just so it gives a little bit of like the sun hitting the tips of the flip-flops. I'm going to add just a little bit of white over the tops of these. I think they got too much brown and I want them to be more white. There, I like that. I like that. Okay, so the last thing we do is we just need to start gluing everything together. We'll have our flip-flop and then our cute sign painted today. So I'll do the back pieces first, and then I'll add on all the fun accessories. So this is the back. It's the one that I went ahead and gave a little bit of a brown to. Time to get that other bottle out. Sorry if that's squeaking too much. My goodness. So I just go ahead and put them together, and I usually stand them up, and then I feel with my fingers if everything is lined up. And then once I feel everything is lined up, I gently put it down and then give it a nice push. Okay, we'll do the top. We're ready to put the seashell design on. Okay, fill everything, make sure it's lined up. just firm pressure. Look, I still have this lovely paper towel stuck to my finger. It's okay. It won't be there forever. I'm going to be okay, you guys. I'm going to live. Promise. Okay, time to add our flip-flops. So just make sure you know which one's on which side. Oh, look, that's going to be so cute. So I only need to put just a little bit of glue. And again, when I did my score lines on my flip-flop straps, I made them just a little bit smaller so that you don't have to be exact, but you just get it in the general area. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of glue just inside that strap area. I'm just going to line it up, and then I got to pick up, make sure I can't see any of the lines peeking out here. This one too, even though the lines are a little bit smaller, you still don't want to see any of those lines peeking out. And just a little, oh, I didn't put any glue down here, but I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to hold it just fine. And now we're ready for our sand dollars, almost. I've got edges to clean up. So the straps look good, but I need to clean up my edges with my Sharpie, because it just makes it look so much nicer. And I should have done this before adding my straps, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you do things not in the order that you want to or need to, but just gets done. I'll go ahead and go around some of the edges on that sand dollar as well, just to clean those up. I find that when I do white or the cream color, that the edges show up quite a bit more. So we're just gonna clean them up, so it doesn't look like we went over the edge at all. It just really hides that. I don't know if you can see the difference, but if I show you this edge, you can see how much it went over the edge. So just taking my black Sharpie, so when I pick it up, you can see how much better it looks. Looks great. Okay, let's glue these sand dollars on. And we just need to add a little bit of glue on top of the straps where the sand dollars are going to go. Good choice, Jennifer, with the choosing the sand dollar. I'm going to turn that one. And since my glue is not dry yet, and I'm just going to let them sit here, and then the glue will dry. It won't take long. Okay, I think they turned out really, really cute, you guys. What do you think? These are the two projects that we worked on today. We've got our flip-flops here, and then we have our cute flip-flop sign. I think they go really, really well together. So I'm going to show you that this sign, let's move this out of the way. So this sign will stand up, our chunky shelf sitter, and these aren't quite dry, but I'm going to show you that our chunky little flip-flops are going to, they're going to stand up too, all by themselves. So again, you can use just the one layer in all of your designing and all of your creations, or you can use it as a shelf sitter and they can stand up all by themselves. Oh, tip you back up. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. This was really fun to paint. And I think this sign turned out so cute. Oh my gosh. Life is better in flip-flops. So this is dedicated to my youngest daughter because she loves the flip-flops. I think they turned out super cute. Look at this. You can still see all those darling little seashells on there. So cute. Anyway, I am Robin with Center Street Decor, and I do have an Etsy shop. It's called Center Street Decor. So my Facebook page, which we are on now, is Center Street Decor SVGs, and that's where I design all the files. And hey, look good. Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And I hope it gets a little cooler so you can go outside and do a little bit of sawing. Maybe at midnight. Maybe it's cooler then in your area. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.